Okay, folks, Brendan's with us. We're going to start with BBC Radio Leicester and Ian Stringer, please.
Ian Stringer.
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I'd imagine you reflect on that as an opportunity missed.
Yeah, well, certainly from a performance perspective, Ian, it was much more like us. Real good start to the game, good intensity. We created opportunities, and we looked a real threat. But just that final pass or effort into the net's just not falling for us at the moment. So we need to show a wee bit more conviction, I think, when we arrive there, because we're arriving into really good areas. But we've shown all season we can score. They obviously were forced into making 3 changes. That was how well we'd done. We had a little spell then for 10-15 minutes in the second half. But we stayed calm. My only disappointment was in that moment when they scored. We left Ben isolated on the side of the pitch and the cross comes in too easy. But we maintained our belief in the game. We kept pushing. And like I say, it was a hard one to take because I thought we were very good in the game. And like I say, it's a performance that will give the boys confidence now going forward and much more like our game.
Was that what Kasper Schmeichel was upset at when the goal went in, Brendan, and at the end of the game as well, the ease with which the cross came in, because he looked very angry as he was leaving the pitch?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's, defensively we have the record that we have because no one is asked to do any more than anyone else. It's a real collective effort, and when one person or just switches off, then of course that can open the team up. And obviously when you have players of Chelsea's quality, give them that possibility to make the cross, then obviously it can give you a problem, which it did.
James Maddison was left out of the squad today, Brendan. I wonder whether you're happy to tell us why that was.
Yeah, he just injured. He picked up an issue a few days ago with his hip, and it obviously meant that he had to have an injection, so he wasn't going to be able to play. So we'll see how he is for Wednesday. Be a doubt for that, but if he's not available, then we expect him for next weekend.
And with that in mind, your creativity, Brendan, in the first half looked a lot better. Barnes and Tielemans in particular probed forward. I know we spoke on the air about clinical edge and finishing opportunities, and the ones that you created ultimately weren't finished and maybe didn't test the goalkeeper enough possibly. But in the second half, do you feel that creativity dropped off a little bit? And with Maddison maybe being out on Wednesday in mind, is that a concern for you with the trip to Goodison?
No, I think it's just us finding that again. Ian, I think that, listen, you only need to look at our record. We're one of the top goal scorers in the league, right up there. So it doesn't worry me. I know we have goals there. However, it's just getting that first goal, and hopefully that is going to give us that effect then that we want within the team. So no, I was much more happier in the performance level, the intent in the game. Getting back to how we play, which is making fast starts, finishing strong, playing with that intensity. So all of that was there. But of course, it's just making that a finish to some of our really, really good play. So that's something we'll continue to work on. It's not as if we haven't scored a good number of goals, but of course we want to be able to do that in these last 7 games. And playing how we did tonight, I think that will give us a better opportunity.
Brendan, you mentioned the substitutions and the fact, I think you made 3, didn't you? Mark Albrighton came on, Damari Gray and Hamza Chowdhury. When you had Kelechi Iheanacho on the bench, that seemed a little strange when you were 1-0 down with 10-15 minutes to go. I wonder whether you're happy to talk us through the thinking with that in mind.
Yeah. Just looking at Jamie, knowing that he still looked fresh. We still feel that he can grab a goal. He doesn't need many opportunities, so just waiting for that opportunity for him to come. So it was as simple as that.
And finally, Brendan, are you concerned about your form at the moment?
We would like to have obviously won 3 games, but we've drawn 2, of which we didn't play anywhere near the level that we did this evening or this afternoon. But of course, we haven't got the desired result today. But I think this will give us confidence. I only worry about working well, and like I say, our plan, our mental idea going into the game was all the things that we've mentioned. But of course, we now got to make this last step, which is getting back to that real clinical edge, that ruthlessness, and if we can do that and perform how we've done, then I think we can finish up with a great season. So that's our concentration now going into for Wednesday's game.
Brendan, always appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks.
Ian Bolton from Sky Sports News, please.
Brendan, hello there.
Hi, Ian.
Hi. Listen, I hope you're well. You are one of the top scorers in the Premier League, but since the restart, you have only scored once. Are you missing something?
We're clearly missing a finish. Yeah, we're clearly. I think that what was important for us today was to return to the tempo and the intensity of a game. So I was much happier. Like, even though in the other games we've drawn, but I felt our game wasn't so fast. It wasn't so. We hadn't had the right tempo to it. But I felt in this game we were much better. In particular, first half, I thought we were very, very good. And if you can continue to perform like that, like we've done all season, it gives us a greater opportunity to win games. So listen, sometimes we'll go through little runs like this here. We don't have the biggest squad compared to, like you say, Chelsea, the levels and the quality that they can rely on. So for us, the solution is always to work with the players that we have. And look to, again, worry about performing well, and that will lead to us playing better and hopefully scoring the goals in the end.
And you feel that despite the fact that you've lost this match, you think it will have a positive impact on your remaining matches rather than a negative impact?
Yeah, I think, listen, we were very determined to go through to the semi-finals, but that just didn't happen for us. So I look at the performance level, which I always do, because I worry about playing well, because consistently if you play well, you'll get the results. And there's no doubt that we for good parts of the game, we were back to our level. And that has allows us to arrive in third place in the league. So we can take confidence from the performance. It's certainly not a performance or result that diminishes that. We'll disappoint it, but we can grow from it, and if we can play with that intent and intensity, then of course gives us a much better chance to win more games.
And you spoke earlier about James Maddison. You said he'd be doubtful for Wednesday. How would you rate his chances of making it?
Well, it's like what I said. He'd be doubtful for it, but we'll see over the next 40 hours.
Thank you. Wish you well.
Cheers. Thanks, Ian. You too.
Okay, John Cross, please.
Hello, Brendan. Nice
Hi,
to see you.
John, you too.
Hope you're good. Listen, you've obviously gone so close. You're having such a good season overall. You've gone so close in both cup competitions. Just how disappointing is that? Because obviously it would probably, be the cherry on the cake for a really good season. Yeah,
it was something that was part of our goal from the very beginning of the season. John, we wanted to be serious about the cups. We were very determined to win something here, and of course we went close on in the semi-final, and today we were very determined to go through. So yeah, but it'll give us that extra motivation and desire now going in to next season. It's really something that we want to achieve. So hopefully my time here we can do that. But we've given respect to both competitions and just fell short on both.
And today's performance, particularly first half, I'm thinking that must give you a lot of belief going into those final 7 games, as you say, because it's such a great opportunity to get the Champions League now. Yeah, it is, and it's obviously a dream and something that we'll really work towards. I felt the first 2 games back, even though we were solid in the games, and like what I felt for a lot of the game today, Kasper didn't have too much to do. He had 1 save early on, and he had 1 save at the end. But
for us, it's the performance gives us the confidence, because much more like our tempo. First two games a little bit slow. Not sure whether that was because of the weather and the heat and everything else, but the tempo wasn't so good in our pressing. The rhythm of our game wasn't quite there, but I thought there was large parts of today that we showed that we're a half decent team. So yeah, we didn't get what I felt we deserved from the game, but that's something that we can now take that confidence in the performance into the remaining games and hopefully finish off what will be a brilliant season.
Brilliant. Thank you, Brendan. Good luck.
Cheers, John. Thank you.
Craig Hope from the Daily Mail, please.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Craig.
Hi. There's been a report today, Brendan, that a coronavirus spike in the city could force Leicester to play the remaining home games away at a neutral venue. Is there anything you can offer on that? Are you aware of that at all? Or
Craig, I'm going to interject on that one because I don't think it's appropriate for Brendan to sort of speculate on what would clearly be a government decision. So I think we'll hold for further information before we comment on that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I'll think of a question on the game. Brendan, that was better. With particular regards, Jamie Vardy, there was one cross in the first half where you thought pre-lockdown he might have just been on the end of that. I think it was Harvey Barnes with one across. Where is Jamie at in terms of where he wants to be, do you think?
Well, I think if you look at him today, Craig, his movement, the threat, his work rate, so everything there sort of pre the break. It's just one of those ones where you can go through a spell where you don't score, but the responsibility is with the team. It's not just with Jamie. I think that he's running's good. He's looking fit. He's looking strong. We're not quite getting the number of opportunities that we would like him to have. But the responsibility is with us all. We have to find ways to score, not just through him. Our wingers need to contribute, our attacking midfield players. Like you see today, we're an aggressive team. We set up to attack the game, but it can't be just with one. What we've shown all year that we have multiple goal scorers, and so it's everyone's responsibility to score.
Rob Tanner, I think, had a hand raised.
Thank you, Brendan.
Hi, Rob.
I just wanted to ask about physicality. Your game, the team's game, is very much about physicality, the press, the energy. Has lockdown affected you more than some of your rivals?
I'm not sure. Certainly, it was much more like us today, at the rhythm in the game. The first two games, I felt, even though we drew the games, we weren't as creative. We weren't unbalancing opposition so much. But I felt today was much more pleasing in that perspective. And of course, it's always disappointment when you don't get the result, but I always worry about the performance level. And I thought today, I think we'll get many more victories playing with that intensity and that intent between now and the end of the season. So that's our focus. You're never happy to lose a quarter final of a cup, and especially how well we've played. But no, we just have to continue to work on that rhythm, that energy, and take it into our next game.
Okay.
Okay, and then Andrew Dillon, please.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Andrew.
Hiya. I'd just like to ask, just following on from Craig, just in more general terms, how concerned are you about the spike in the virus in the town, given the day-to-day running of the club, the training, your players living in the town and that sort of stuff, the fact that the virus seems to be spiking?
Yeah, I'm obviously I'd out there this morning, so I think as a football club we're very protected. The players and everyone we're very much still in a bubble, Andrew. Where the players are in, they're tested twice a week. They're virtually in, back home again. A lot of them don't live in that sort of central Leicester area. It's more urban and outside of that. So, but no, listen. It's of course you're always concerned nationally from the perspective of COVID and trying to ensure that the rates are down. But yeah, I think that we're in a position here at the club, like most other clubs, where you're we're very much protected. We couldn't be in a better place. So obviously that gives you the confidence to continue with your work.
Great, thank you.
Pleasure.
Last one from Jordan Blackwell at Mercury, please.
Brendan.
Hi, Jordan.
Can I just ask what you made of Yuri Tielemans' performance? It seemed like he was fairly influential in the first half. Did it look like you were quite frustrated with when some of his through balls didn't come off in the second period?
Yeah, it was just natural. I thought the three midfield players worked very, very well. You know, I was happy with very happy with Yuri and his contribution. That's the type of player he'll be. You know, he's not going to make all those passes. There's, of course, you have that little frustration, you know, when the pass nearly goes through. But what's important for me, he sees it. You know, he's the guy that can make that pass. But I thought the three midfield players were excellent. Dennis, obviously, we wanted to get an hour or so, him and Ayo, because they haven't been back training so long. But I thought their contribution in the game was very good. But yeah, no, I thought he was much more like himself, Yuri, today. You know, playing quickly with the ball, pressing up on the game, and always looking forward with his passing.
Yep.
Okay, thanks everybody. We'll wrap it there.
Cheers, guys.